Do Formula One teams have a social media bias? Hello, my name is Alex Does F1 Stuff and welcome back to another random F1 episode. And today we are covering, I don't know, maybe something that seems obvious, like it has an obvious answer, whatever you think that answer is. But today we are looking at if teams have any sort of social media bias towards one driver over another. So I'm just going to outline some rules, as social media is an extremely broad term. So basically, what's going to count? Anything from Twitter. Absolutely anything from Twitter. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Facebook and Instagram, you're just not going to cut it, or any other form of social media, otherwise the research for this video would have had to have taken an enormously long time. So with the social media platform chosen, what exactly will count? As I'm not just going to choose any old post from Twitter. So there is a yes pile and there is a no pile. So in the yes pile is simply going to be any post from the team about the car, the driver themselves, or any combination of the driver, the car, with some sort of text or quote attached to it. As Renault put out these little things with each driver, that will count as 1 point towards the driver. And also things like this as well. Mercedes pop out these after every practice session as just a sort of overview of how it went for Mercedes. That will count as 1 each for Bottas and for Hamilton. However, things that won't count. Videos. I am saying no to videos because, I don't know, they seem to normally be retweets from Formula One themselves. And speaking of retweets, there won't be any retweets at all. Only posts from the F1 team's account. That is it. No retweeted things from the drivers, no retweeted things from F1 or anything like that. Also, no GIFs. Nothing at all. No like celebratory, someone pumping their fist or screaming yes or something like that. Nothing like that. Just one still image like is in the left hand column. Also, nothing from Monday to Thursday. I'm only looking at pictures uploaded on Friday, Saturday and Sunday over the entire race weekend when the drivers are pounding round the track. And lastly, no throwback photos either, if they include any of your current drivers. No throwbacks, current pictures uploaded on Friday, Saturday or Sunday, no retweets, no videos, no GIFs, and just pictures. So with all of those rules out of the way, we will jump straight on into Mercedes, and I'm going to be going in championship order as of yet. So photos over the weekend, with Hamilton as the left bar, the sort of turquoise colour, and Bottas being the sort of murkier green colour. Mercedes have uploaded a total of 418 photos over 7 Grand Prix weekends. I'm only counting up to Belgium, as I haven't had enough time to do Italy or Mugello just yet. And this is in favour of Lewis Hamilton, 232 to 186, which is a 55.5% split. However, the thing that is interesting with Mercedes is if I do a photo advantage to race advantage, we see that they score 100%. Now, what do I mean about photo advantage to race advantage? So the left bar for every column is the photo advantage, which driver had the most photos over the 3 racing days. And then the bar on the right of that particular race event is which driver finished in front during the race. So for Valtteri Bottas in Austria, he had more photos taken, 39 to 35, indicated by the bar on the left, and the bar on the right shows that he did better in the race. He ended up winning with Lewis Hamilton P4. As for all of the others, Styria, Hungary, Britain, 70th anniversary, Spain and Belgium, it was Lewis Hamilton who had more photos, and he outperformed Bottas in those races. And with this general layout of how exactly it's going to run, we move to Red Bull. And Red Bull is a little bit more dominant. A little bit more dominant in favour of Max Verstappen. 377 photos taken, and it is 237 photos to 140 against Alex Albon, and that is a 62.8% difference. And as for their photo advantage to their race advantage, it is again 100%. Very similar, or exactly the same actually, to Mercedes. Albon having more photos taken on the Austria weekend and finishing higher up in the standings. However, for every other weekend since, Max has had a bit more photos, or quite a lot more photos in some cases. Spain, he's had double the amount of photos, and he ended up outperforming him in the race as well. And then moving on to McLaren, we have Carlos Sainz in the lighter orange and Lando Norris in the darker orange. McLaren took 379 photos over 7 Grand Prix weekends, and that was 191 to 188 to Carlos Sainz, and that is a 50.4% split, as equal as you want. However, their photo advantage to race advantage is a little bit iffy. You can see in Styria and in Belgium, Carlos Sainz had more photos taken, but it was Lando Norris who actually outperformed him during the race, which was a 71% sort of ratio. And moving to Racing Point, we have Sergio Perez in the light pink and then Lance Stroll in the dark pink. And for this they took 262 photos, as I've excluded Britain and the 70th anniversary as Sergio Perez wasn't there. And this was in favour of Lance Stroll. Kind of, maybe surprisingly, who knows. 139 to 123, a 53.1% difference. However, their photo advantage to race advantage is again a little bit odd. We have Lance Stroll having more photos in Austria, but Sergio Perez out racing, and then it is the flip of that for Spain and Belgium, and that is a 40% ratio for this. And then we have Renault. We've got Ricciardo in the darker yellow and then Ocon in the lighter yellow. They took a total of 335 photos, and that was in favour of Daniel Ricciardo. Only just 5 photos in it and a 50.7 split, with their photo to race advantage being very all over the place, scoring them just 43% overall. And from Renault, we move to Ferrari. Charles Leclerc is in the proper Ferrari red, with Vettel being in the slightly lighter colour, sort of erring on the pink side actually. Ferrari took a whoppingly low 192 photos. However, this was just in favour of Charles Leclerc, 2 photos in it this time, a 50.5% split, with their race and photo advantage going well, apart from the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, in which Sebastian Vettel had more photos, but Charles Leclerc outraced him, which was again an 86% split. And moving from Ferrari to AlphaTauri, we've got Gasly in the darker colour and Kvyat in the lighter colour, and they took 316 photos over 7 Grand Prix, and that was in favour of Pierre Gasly. And remember, this is excluding Italy, the race in which he won, and that was a 53.8% split, with their photo to race advantage again a little bit all over the place, scoring them 71%. As we head into the penultimate few teams, we go to Alfa Romeo. Kimi Raikkonen is in the darker colour with Giovinazzi in the lighter. They took even less than Ferrari, 180 photos overall, and that was in favour of Giovinazzi. 51.7% in favour of Gio, but again, their race and photo advantage is massively all over the place, with differences in Hungary, Britain, 70th anniversary and even Spain, scoring them 43%. And then penultimately we've got Haas. We have Kevin Magnussen in the darker colour with Grosjean in the light grey, and Haas took a staggering 475 photos on their Twitter page, and that was just in favour of Romain Grosjean, 51.2% to be precise, with their photo to race advantage actually being 100%, the first team to do so since Mercedes and Red Bull. And then lastly we have Williams. We have George Russell in the white with Nicholas Latifi in the slightly darker colour, and Williams took 382 photos over these 7 Grand Prix weekends, which was 220 to 162 in favour of George Russell, seeing the second biggest percentage bias, second to just Red Bull. And looking at their photo to race advantage, we have Austria that is the only difference, with all other races being the same. Whoever has the most photos ends up outperforming in the race. And this ends up being an 86% ratio for this statistic. So if you've forgotten exactly all of the percentages in favour of all the drivers, not to worry, as I have one final graph to indicate all of this. We've got Red Bull out in front, then it's Williams, then Mercedes, then AlphaTauri, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and then very, very close to bang on 50-50, Renault, Ferrari and McLaren. And then for those that are interested, I also have one final graph of the photos per team at almost 500 for Haas compared to just 180 for Alfa Romeo, and that's over the same 7 Grand Prix weekends. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that statistical video there, and I will catch you in the next one with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.